All right, there we are. So let's talk more about the Birds this morning. Of course, it is a Victory Monday, and it was quite a day in South Philly yesterday as the Eagles clinched the NFC East title, and Saquon Barkley became just the 9th player in NFL history to pass 2,000 rushing yards in a season. So to break this all down for us, we're going to talk to our friend Ryan Rothstein from 97.3 ESPN in South Jersey and the Pro Football Network. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, Kelsey. How are we feeling on Victory Monday?
I think we're feeling pretty good, and I think based upon all the video we've seen of fans after the game yesterday, their reaction, I think the Birds fans are feeling good as well, all over the city.
It's hard not to feel that way. Listen, you beat the Dallas Cowboys 41-7. It's a good day for Eagles fans wherever they may be, and on top of that, you get 13-plus wins in a season for the Philadelphia Eagles franchise, just the 4th time in their franchise's history. Everything combined, Saquon Barkley, and I'm sure we're going to get plenty into him in just a second, the day and the season that he's had, there's a lot of reasons to be excited and happy this morning.
That's for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the quarterback situation yesterday, right? So you had Kenny Pickett, does well, but then gets knocked out, and then Tanner McKee doesn't miss a beat. What does that say about this offense?
It says a lot. Like, to me, it says more about the team in general, right? I mean, I had questions going into this week about the quarterback and about Jalen Hurts and his injury and about the team, and will they be able to keep this train on its tracks against the Dallas Cowboys team that, yes, has not had a very good year, but they're a team that's went into this matchup yesterday winning 5 straight games. So you had a lot of questions, and all of them were answered against this Dallas Cowboys team because, yes, you bring in Kenny Pickett, the team doesn't miss a beat, and then you bring in the 3rd-string quarterback in Tanner McKee. The kid looks 12 years old when I was listening to him post-game, and he throws a back shoulder pass to A.J. Brown in the end zone like he's just been doing it for 15 seasons. So it's just a testament to this locker room. The O-line wanted to get the Saquon Barkley record. The quarterbacks, both of them played well. So it's a positive sign, and I think it shows just how strong that locker room really is.
Yeah, and I think that added to the excitement of the game. Of course, obviously, we're always excited if we beat the Dallas Cowboys. We're always excited if we win in general. But then to do it without Jalen Hurts and to be so dominant, I think was so exciting for everyone to witness. But the guy we can't stop talking about this season, Saquon Barkley, he passed 2,000 yards, but he is just 101 yards away from setting a new single-season rushing record. So what are your thoughts on next weekend? Do you play him or do you rest him?
It's the $1,000,000 question. All right, get ready for seven days of debate here throughout Philadelphia and in Philly Sports Talk Radio. Here's the thing: if you want to see him go and get it, I do not blame you, because I look at this as history, right? Like, yes, he eclipses 2,000 yards, and that's a massive deal, and this has been a historic season. But you sort of end up just being a guy on a list, right? Like, we're all going to remember this as Eagles fans, but if he ends up being able to actually become the all-time rushing champion in the National Football League, that's special. That's something that is very, very unique, and it's held highly throughout the NFL world and throughout football fans across the world. So it's a huge deal. But at the end of the day, I think the Eagles have a rare opportunity here to rest their guys because, yes, they're going to have to play 3 games. The number 1 seed is going to be decided between the Vikings and the Lions next week. The winner of that game gets the 1 seed. The loser gets the 5 seed and has to go on the road that very next week for the playoffs. So they're going to be knocking each other out. That's going to be a heavyweight battle. They're going to be throwing blows at each other. And the loser of that game is just basically going to be going home with their tail between their legs after missing an opportunity to get the 1 seed. The Eagles can rest against a Giants team that stinks on ice and make sure you're ready to go for what really matters. So I guess I said a lot there, but to sum it up, if you're going to say, no, we're not going to go for it next week, you better bring home a Super Bowl.
And perfect segue here. You brought up the Lions and the Vikings. So who do you think the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC? Is it Minnesota or is it Detroit?
It's another excellent question. I mean, it could be none of the above, right? Because the Detroit Lions have been outstanding this year, but they are depleted. They have about 35 guys on the injured reserve list. I'm exaggerating a little bit with that number, but I'm not far off from the actual number. So they're quite literally limping into the postseason. But if the Vikings figure out a way to beat the Detroit Lions next week and they end up with the 1 seed, that is a tough place to play, and they have been clicking. Obviously, if you end up getting the 1 seed, any team is clicking in that situation, right? So I look at the Vikings, if they win next week, as a potential threat. But I said last week on the airwaves, I mean, you look at this NFC from top to bottom, it's not just going to be who gets the 1 seed as a potential threat. It can be any team. I mean, look at Washington, who just beat the Eagles not too long ago. They're a team that's young, playing with house money, nothing to lose, has some weapons. Green Bay Packers is a team that's a threat, right? So you look at this NFC, and it's going to be an absolute battle. And I would expect for some upsets. So I think it's going to be a very tough road, regardless of who the Eagles face. But it seems like that they're up for the task.
We'll have to see how it all pans out. Ryan, if people want to follow all the things you're doing, how can they do that?
At Wiserye, WISERYE. That's where I push everything out there for everything I have going on. I'll be on the afternoon show later today, 97.3 ESPN, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., so you can catch me there.
All right, Ryan, Happy New Year. Thanks so much. Go Birds.